All right, guys. Here on the Kendra Crump Show, you never know who I may get. I may get an up and coming singer or wannabe singer. I may get a rapper. I may have a has been. I may even have somebody who's really real and who's about that life. But this time, I actually have someone who has sold 40 million records worldwide. Someone who's every single one of his albums has gone double platinum. Okay, one of y'all's aunties probably had a crush on him and probably wanted him but couldn't get him because guess what? He's married and black men don't cheat. We all know that. So, y'all, I'm telling look, black men, listen, black men don't cheat. Y'all don't cheat on y'all taxes. Y'all don't cheat on y'all's barber. Okay, if you don't cheat in the game of basketball, if listen, if you smoke backwoods, that's what you smoke. If you smoke blue optimals, y'all know nothing about blue optimals. That's what you smoke.
Yeah. For real. No cheat, no cheat.
So, guys, without further ado, I want to introduce one of the original members, probably one of the best members. I'm just putting it out there. That's my opinion of the Hot Boys. Hot Boy Turk, what's going on, brother? How you doing?
What's popping? I'm cooling as I always had it.
And I know everybody's thinking like, Kendra, how the hell did you end up getting Turk? I'm just gonna say it. It's all God. You just got to give all the honor and glory to God. That's really what it is. Like when He tells you to do something, you got to follow it. And Turk, I know you and I know for a fact that you do have you mentioned that you have a relationship with Jesus, that you've been there and everything else. I wanted to ask you a question. When did you know for a fact that God was real for you in your life? Like when did you, like, not what the church told you, not what your mama and them told you, like when did you actually have that moment with God?
Man, I always had a moment.
All right, Turk, you said that you always had a moment with God. Go ahead.
Yeah, I always had a moment with God. My mom always installed in me, the church. So it just was a matter of me coming back to God. Sometimes we'll go through life and we'll get lost like the prodigal son, you know what I'm saying? By drugs, association, different things that we experience in life, you know what I'm saying? But then we come back to what our first love was, which was what was taught. And I was taught God, you know what I'm saying? I was taught that God is my everything, you know what I'm saying? Can't do nothing without him.
Amen.
So I just returned back. I was a prodigal son who was lost and now I'm found again.
Amen. Let me ask you this question. Do you have any like scriptures that you go by? Is there anything that do you have like a top 3 or top 5 favorite scriptures that you try to always utilize?
I really don't. I don't have no scriptures. I got books. You know what I'm saying? Some people got scriptures. I got books. And I like the story of Joseph. I can relate to Joseph, chapter 37 all the way through 50. I always say that I'm a modern day Joseph because I went through the same similar things in the spirit that he went through. He was lied upon. He had hatred. People hated him for the favor that he had on his life. He was sold into slavery. He did jail time. You know what I'm saying? His brothers sold him out. Like everything. I just can relate to Joseph on so many ways. And like that story right there got me through when I was in prison, when I was going through a lot of stuff that I was going through.
Most
and
definitely.
Still to this day, I still relate back to that story.
Most definitely.
That story gives you a lot of faith and hope.
You know what?
Me a lot of faith and hope.
That's actually real. And for me, I think I grew up in a household. My mom. Are you familiar with what an evangelist is?
Evangelist? Nah, not just per se, you know what I'm saying, but I have heard of an evangelist. I don't get caught up into the titles. You know what I'm saying? I just believe that everybody have a duty to bring God's word. You know what I'm saying? I don't get caught into the titles of who is who. You feel me?
Most of, but okay, yeah. But my mom, she basically was an evangelist, and basically it was like it's somewhat similar to a Jehovah's Witness, except, the practices are differently. But she would have me in church 3 days a week, and everything, I used to have this really like negative connotation about God, because it's like everything was a sin. And I'm like this can't. And you know what was so crazy? I always kept hearing the same scripture, which was, honor thy mother, thy father. But I didn't hear until I got to like becoming, leaving high school, becoming a young adult. Don't provoke thy children. So I'm like, wait, where was that? So it took me a long time to realize, like, number one, everybody's interpretation of the Bible is different. That's first thing. The second thing that I realized is you have to come and find your own way of like who God is for you. So many times we end up like with the whole from Saul to Paul. Saul was a Christian killer. And people probably gave up on him thinking, oh, he ain't never gonna change. But you can never give up on anyone. And you mentioned a couple of things where you say you were lied on, people hated you for your favor. When you say that you were lied on, would you say that it came from your own family? Did it come from your friends, quote unquote? Because you don't really know when it comes with friends. You don't know what the real definition of a friend is until you get older. And you're like, that's what a friend is. A friend ain't this or a friend ain't that.
I mean, I was lied upon by a lot of things, a lot of people, police, family, big, I had to learn how.
Hold on, Turk, say that one more time, because my connection went out for like 10 seconds. You say you were lied upon on with family. You said the police?
I was lied upon with family and the police, what I'm saying, business associates. I had... Yeah.
Okay, you mentioned a part, regarding the police. And first off, I know, every black man, black just person pretty much in general has had that issue with the police, with racial, injustice and everything. Do you remember the very first time that you actually had a prejudice type thing when it came with the police, like either driving while black, or maybe you were in elementary school and you had something that ended up happening to you?
I experienced when I caught my case with the police in 2004. I have always heard about racism and police brutality and seen it. But when I experienced the corruption of the police and the system, period, on my situation, it happened to me in 2004, and it just was a whole bunch of lies, man. You know what I'm saying? From I never did trust the police anyway. I never did like the police. I got cousins that's police. I don't fuck with them.
Really
you know what I'm saying? They my cousin. I just don't rock with the police. I was brought up on morals and principles, and it was taught to me and say it to me, never fucking trust the police, and that's what I live by. So when they came in my house that day, man, they came in as the robbers. They didn't come in there to execute a search warrant like they said. They came in there ready for war. They was armed and dangerous, and they was ready for whatever. If they would have knocked on my door like they say they did, and they lied at that time. They lied from the beginning when they said they came in my house, and they lied all the way till I came home on my appeal. You feel me?
Most
and
definitely.
I guess time just healed everything to where they just say, you know what, we gonna go ahead and leave it alone. Because they just was lying, man.
You know what? It reminds me what you had mentioned when with the police and hearing that, even hearing that story was Did you see your life flash before your eyes? Was that like the first like near death experience you've ever had, or was that not even a near death experience?
Nah, young, that's what it was. Cause I prayed. I had prayed to God when I OD'd, and I asked God. I told him on why I was gonna stop doing heroin and cocaine. It had to be life threatening.
Mm-hmm.
And 3 days later, that's what that happened. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? They shot 52 times. I didn't get hit or grazed. You
Amen.
know, I wound up going through 8 months, 16 days on a 22-year sentence. Gave my time back and came home in 2012.
When I
So,
graduated high
everything was
school.
good.
That's amazing. How you okay? As far as with the heroin and cocaine, when was the very first time you remember actually using it? How old were you?
I probably like 14. I was like 14 years old when I started out shooting coke, and then shit, you graduate. It's like in New Orleans, that shit like niggas pop pill, drink syrup today. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying? It was like a fashion statement.
Mm-hmm.
Niggas was rapping about it. Magnolia Slim was rapping about it, and
Mm-hmm.
niggas want to live what rappers are rapping about. And at the time, Magnolia Slim was New Orleans Tupac. You feel me? So
Yeah.
whatever he was living, everybody was imitating anyway.
And did you get a chance to hang out with him?
Yeah,
Okay.
we from the same hood, and my nigga. Yeah.
Okay. And how's he doing now?
Magnolia Slim dead. He got killed in front of his mama house.
I was just asking that question in case anybody didn't know. Not just me.
Yeah.
Some you never know. Some people, because I have the audience from ages like 14 to AARP age. So people might not know. They might not know.
Yeah. Nah, I already know. Ain't nothing wrong with not knowing. It's when you not knowing act like you do know. You know what I'm saying? They want to argue at somebody that do know. You feel me? So I'd rather a person say they don't know something than a person to act like they know it and then try to fuss with a person that know it.
Mm-hmm. And you know what that's actually real, because I used to get made fun of for the questions that I would ask. Like they would, and I'm like, how could y'all be so mean? If I don't know something, I don't know. It's better to say, hey, I don't know, so you can be informed. So
Yeah.
it's one of those things when you're young and you're very impressionable, you don't realize that it's okay to say I don't know. And I'm pretty sure had I said I don't know, or if I asked more questions, I would have done better in school. But I was very, like I said at that time, very impressionable. But of course, things are a lot different for me now. So I did want to ask you something else. All right, so you say you started when you were 14. Was it walk me back to that day? Was it kind of like, all right, were you smoking weed first, or was it like, let me just go ahead and try with heroin? I mean, try with the cocaine, and like at 14, what was going on at that time?
No.
Okay, you said start over. You said that you started with the coke. How did you start? You said you started fucking with the coke. What'd you say?
Yeah, you start with the coke,
Mm-hmm.
and then after that, they start rapping about the heroin. Then you start doing the heroin, and then shit. Eventually, after that, you start shooting heroin and cocaine. You graduate. And that's what it was. It was like the high intensified. So you got to do whatever it is to make the high, make you feel a high, and we call it graduating. So you start off in elementary, go through middle school, work your way to high to college. You feel me? That's
Mm-hmm.
just the dope language. You know what I'm saying? And shit, I went through everything, and I ain't drop out until I caught my case.
So what? Sometimes it's a blessing in disguise, even when you don't think it is. Like you never know what the plan of life that God has for you.
Yeah,
Did your
yeah, it was most definitely a blessing. I know it was a blessing.
Was there anybody else in your family who was doing the same thing, or was it just you, like in your immediate family, who was doing the same thing, or was it just you who was?
Now my uncle who I looked up to, he was winding up doing the same stuff that I was doing. So If you get my book, The Autobiography of Turk, you kind of like understand like how I wound up being the way I was in life. I wanted to be like my uncle so much to where I really wound up being like my uncle. You know what I'm saying? The only thing I did, I chose the rap life. My uncle chose the dope life. And we both got our mind right to this day now.
Amen.
You know what I'm saying? But we both was the backbones for the family. You know what I'm saying? We both was hustlers, grinders. You know what I'm saying? Getting money, and we both had fell off. You know what I'm saying? And got back on. So yeah, it was my uncle. I looked up to him, and then the rappers and shit. Magnolia Slim. I looked up to Magnolia Slim. As far as wanting to be a rapper, I think Magnolia Slim played a major part of me wanting to be a rapper.
Okay. Did you guys have any like records together before he had passed?
Nah. I never got a chance to really do no records with him. But before I was signed with Cash Money, I used to be with a record label who we all was together with called Hype Enough Records. So, you know what I'm saying? Magnolia Slim at the time used to always be in jail. And when he come home, shit, we was hitting and missing a lot, you know what I'm saying? And we never got a chance to work. And then when he finally started working, that's when I was on a run, you know what I'm saying? So that's when him and BG started working together and shit, and then shit, while I was on the run, that's when he wound up getting killed.
Was that the first death that hit you the hardest, or
Nah.
Who's the first death for you?
I'm used to. I was used to that. You know what I'm saying? I'm from New Orleans, so every day somebody died.
So it was like you were just numb to it.
Yeah, I was numb. Another murder. I mean, I was fucked up about it because it's Magnolia Slim. Like that was our biggest rapper in New Orleans at the time. And shit, like I say, man, yeah, that hurt it, but I really was numb to the fact that it was violent.
And I think one of the things, and I have not been to New Orleans yet. I would like to go one day. I've been to Shreveport, but I definitely would like to go to New Orleans. But it's like, I think what it is, people always want to go to the good side of New Orleans, like, where everything is like shown on television, but nobody really wants to go to the other side. I'm like, guys, it's two sides. It's two, like what I think, like Shawty Lowe said, it must be two sides. It's like it's two sides. You can't just go to the good and not to the bad. And then.
But it's like everybody can't make it through the bad side. You know what I'm saying? So it's better sometimes not to even go on them sides, especially if you don't know nobody. You can't just go on people's side, especially if it's considered that way. You gotta be stamped in order to go through somebody's hood. You know what I'm saying? So it's not smart to do that. You feel me? Especially if you don't know nobody.
No, that's that's actually true, and it's kind of funny. Sometimes my followers, people in my DMs, be like, "Hey, come to New Orleans, come see me." I'm like, "Bro, I don't know you. Like, what am I seeing you for? I don't. That's not my hood. I'm not gonna. Come on now. Like you must not think I have street smarts. Don't do that. Don't
you can't
do
just
that.
pull into nobody's hood like that. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know. People are just wild. Like I said. So, okay. So let's start with rapping. Do you remember? How old were you when you first picked up the pen and the pad and you were like, you know what, or
everything around the same age, around 14. You know what I'm saying? Everything. I started rapping and doing drugs around the same time.
And do you remember what your first rap was about, or do you still have that rap with you today?
Now, one of my first raps was about one of my homeboys who got killed. He got hit by a car, hit and run. What happened was one of our OGs didn't intentionally try to hit him, but he did flee the scene. And that fucked up. One of my homegirls, she crippled, kind of like walked fucked up to this day. And my homeboy Bussy, he was on life support. We thought he was gonna make it, but you know what I'm saying, he fucked around and died from that collision. You know what I'm saying? They was riding a bike and our OG was flying down the street and wound up hitting them on the bikes, and shit, that it killed him.
Man, you know what? And that's why I say God gives his greatest battles to his toughest soldiers. And I know for a fact the things that you have seen and done and been through, the average person probably wouldn't have been able to make it. So you know what? It's amazing. It's amazing. How'd you end up coming up with your rap? Was Turk your first rap name, or did you have something prior to then?
Nah, Turk was the name my mama gave me. I just used that as a rap. You know, my name been Turk.
Okay. And I want you to you know, kind of give advice to anybody out there for the younger generation who, you know, because it seems like everybody wants to be a rapper, but nobody wants to put in the work to become a rapper. What's some of your advice that you would give to anybody out there from, you know, who wants to be a rapper, who's trying to, you know, be on their come up and everything else? What's something that you learned along the way that you can share with people?
Man, you just gotta, you know what you're getting yourself into before you get into it. Study everything you need to know about your business, and stay determined. What a determination there to wake up, be found. Ain't nobody can stop you but yourself.
That's real. And, you know, kind of wrapping up, I wanted to do like a little lightning round with you. Just a couple of questions that, you know, just so people can know you better, some of your fans can know you better and everything else. What is the craziest, because people, I guess they look up to you guys like you know, celebrities like you guys are gods. What's the craziest fan interaction that you've had thus far? Like the craziest one where you're like, come on now, you know better, like like it was a wild day that day.
Shit. I mean, I couldn't just remember nothing crazy that was just, you know, crazy. Like I say, man, all my time when I was doing my thing, I was high, so I don't remember too much. And then, you know, I went to jail all my 20s and shit, so, you know, I missed out on like 9 years. And I came back home. The fans ain't the same. We got a different type of, you know what I'm saying, motherfuckers now. So I ain't never just experienced no crazy moments. You feel me?
I got it. You know, I've had a couple jobs. I was one of the jobs I had. I was working at the airport, and I've seen like little girls, like girls in like high school, middle school, high school, waiting outside of the bathroom for one of their favorite like rappers or whatever. And I'm like, ladies, he's a regular person. Don't be waiting outside the bathroom for him, okay? Yeah. You know, like I said, I know people will do that. Okay, second question I want to ask about fans. You know, what's the best way for a fan to approach you? You know, besides of course not eating, you know, if you're eating with your family or so.
Just being real, man, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, fans could DM me if they be straight up, you know what I'm saying? I think a lot of people get the wrong interpretation of, you know, rappers or celebrities. You know, I talk with anybody that keep it real, man, that's respectful.
Not coming to you on some BS. You know, like, hey man, hey, listen to my mixtape. You know, one of those.
Yeah.
Okay, I know you say you mentioned you spent most of your 20s in you know, while you were incarcerated. Now that you're out, what's the best birthday that you've had thus far? Like that was a really good birthday for you.
I mean, you know, my birthdays, man, I don't even count nothing as no holidays or no celebration. I just live day for day, you know what I'm saying? All my emotions on holidays have left when I went to jail, you know what I'm saying? I like to see my kids, you know, have fun on Christmas and their birthdays. Just saying their days happy is what make me happy, you know what I'm saying?
That's real. What's the best advice that somebody's ever given you?
No advice. No advice. Nobody never gave me no advice. Everything that I learned, I had to go read about it. I had to go read it and educate myself. Ain't nobody never gave me no advice.
Understand. What are some books that you do like to read?
I like to read Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill.
Mm-hmm.
As a Man Thinketh.
Mm-hmm.
The Richest Man in Babylon, Robert Cleason, 40 Laws of Power in the Bible.
I have not made it to 48 Laws of Power yet. And that's a most requested book that a lot of people do like. So speaking of books, you mentioned you had a autobiography. Is that out already, or is it coming out?
Nah, my book out. You can go to lulu.com, or you can get it directly from me. You know what I'm saying? It's about my life. Autobiography, but I call it the auto thugography because I'm thugging. That's my logo. That's what I stand on. That's my motto, young and thugging, but I'm grown up, Mr. Y&T. You feel me? I started young and thugging, Pac started thug life. I still thugging is a new way of life. It's taking hardship using God's gift in spite of negativity. That's the acronym for thugging. Mm-hmm. And that's what I do every day, you know what I'm saying? Try to make sure that my family, my kids don't do and go through the same things that I did and went through. You feel me?
Mm-hmm. That's real. Father of the Year award. I love it. Do you movies? Are you gonna try to get your book to turn into a movie or?
Yeah. I got a movie already wrote. I'm waiting on Tyler Perry. Name my screenplay is Reckless.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I want Tyler Perry to produce it.
And so you guys are in the works, and it's gonna come out.
Nah, it's in the spirit works.
You know what? Manifestation's real.
Yeah.
One last question, and then we could kind of wrap it up from here. Give me probably up to like at least 3 to 5 artists that you have not worked with that you would love to work with.
Man, to be honest, I don't have no picks and chooses. I'm open to work with anybody and everybody. You feel me? Like, if you want to work, let's get it. It's more than 5, you know what I'm saying? It's whoever.
And it's gonna happen. No matter, and that's it. Manifestation. That's it. So whatever you want to be in life, whatever you want to make happen, it's gonna happen. Yeah. And that's why I say, you know what? When I said 40 million records sold, all your albums double platinum, after this interview, everybody's gonna want to go ahead and pick up your album. You remember Turk? Yeah, come on, let's go. Everybody's gonna want to pick up your album. That's how it works. Cause look, I'm the HNIC, and I what I say goes. So Turk, I do want to say this. Thank you first off for being the very first person with a Wikipedia page to be on my podcast. Everybody else, So I really do appreciate that. First off,
it's all love.
So go ahead, give out your social media information. I know you have a podcast. Go ahead and give that out.
Yeah, man. Y'all already know. Follow me on Instagram, Boy Turk _32. Click that link and follow my podcast. Y'all already know what's going on, man. I'm everywhere. Just type in Boy Turk and it'll come up. You feel me? Telling the truth is not you hating on nobody. Telling the truth is something that whoever you're telling it to need to hear. Remember that, man, and you're going to go far. You feel me? Straight like that. Big thugging.
Amen. All right, guys. Well, that was the end of the interview with Hot Boy Turk, the millionaire, no, the trillionaire. How about that? We changing everything. The trillionaire. And remember,
what determination there, the way to be found, man. You did.
That's it. All right. And remember, black men don't cheat.
Head out.
All right, guys. So I just finished up my episode with the one and only Hot Boy Turk. And if there was some jumps in and out, that's because my internet was messing up. We were doing a Zoom call, guys. So, but overall, I think I liked it. My first guy who had a Wikipedia page, so I really enjoyed it and stuff like that. So, I hope you all enjoyed it. And make sure if you have not, please subscribe to my channel. Make sure you subscribe. All right, guys. Kendra Crump, HNIC, signing out.